You want to know something about me? When I was younger, I was one gullible little kid. I was super gullible. I used to take everything super seriously and literally. Like, it was kind of embarrassing now that I'm thinking about it, But like, you think back on it and it's funny, right? It's like, why did I fall for such silly things? But then, as I got older, I found that I got better with certain things, right, in terms of my gullibility. But I still took a lot of things seriously, right? Things that didn't need to be taken so seriously. And I pondered multiple times, like, why is it that I take things so seriously? Even like some of the people closest to me, like my parents, are like, why you always have a chip on your shoulder? Why are you always so stiff? Why are you always so serious? It's like, why am I so serious? Why do I take things so seriously? And it's like, not everything needs to be taken super literal, or I don't need to carry this weight that I've always been carrying, and it's been an ongoing journey for me, right? But just being able to understand that I don't need to take everything so seriously has been one of the hardest struggles for me personally. But I realized that even today, just how much better I've gotten. I went to this museum, and I was with the party. I was with my grandma and two of my cousins. And my cousins are little kids. They don't know much. They don't know much, right? Or at least they think they know, but they don't. And so I'm trying to talk to one of them, and like trying to explain to them how we went to this Native American exhibit, and one of them was trying to say how, like, are you sure these people aren't Indian? I'm like, no, these are American people. And like, I kept going back and forth with this kid, and like, I had to take a second to breathe in. It's like, why am I taking this so seriously? This does not need the attention that I'm giving it, right? But this is just a little kid who thinks they know something, and you're trying to correct them and they're not listening. And it's like, I'm over here like physically getting frustrated. Like, my voice is raising in its volume. I'm like, I have to take a second. I was like, this does not need the attention that it deserves, or that I'm giving it, right? And so I literally just, I took a deep breath. I walked away. I was like, you know what? You're just a kid. You don't know. And then that was it. I stopped talking to them at that moment, right? And for me, like, that's just one small, very minuscule thing that happened, right? But if it was me in the past, I would have just kept going back and forth. I probably would have gotten really angry for no reason, over a misconception, all because I would take things super seriously, right? For no reason. Another thing, right? I'm around a decent amount of elderly people, especially recently, right? I've been around a lot of elderly people, and these people, I know this doesn't apply to everyone. Just take this with a grain of salt. Use your own discernment when I say this, right? But they're kind of like stuck in their own ways, like they've grown up with these, like, their own thoughts and beliefs, right? And so that's how they view everything, right? And I'm younger than them, so I take what they say, and I agree with some of it, but then a lot of it I don't agree with, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that, and even in your own world, whether it's your parents, whether, it's people younger than you, it's like, or people older than you as well, like, you might agree with something that they're saying, but a lot of it you might just not agree with. And sometimes in the past, I would find myself just either just completely either tuning out everything that they say, because I would just be like in this like ignorant state of mind where it's like, you know what, they have no idea what they're talking about, they're just old, right? Or, you know, I would just get like going back and forth with them, because it's like, well, why do you think that? It's like, because that just doesn't sound unrealistic. And it all just goes back to what I was saying, you know, I would just take things super seriously for no reason, I think. Which is why I said earlier, this has been one of the most challenging things for me personally to overcome this state, this being of like being stuck in this like mode where it's like you have to take everything so seriously, you have to be so tense, right? My mom always told that to me, you know, I was always so tense, so tense. I had my shoulders up all the time, right? I think I quite literally did have my shoulders up all the time, and I was like so unaware of it because I didn't know how to relax. I don't know if that comes from, if that's like a fight or flight type of thing, you know, like me, like I didn't know, I did what I had to do to survive in my environment, and part of that was being like taking everything literally because I didn't understand when something was going to happen, right? I don't know the complete origin of how I had why I had behaved in such a way. I can think of like some theories, but regardless, it is something that, you know, I thought about. I've been thinking about, you know, why is it I would just take things so seriously? And it's like, I have to tell myself, stop taking things so seriously, bro. Literally, I have to tell myself that all the time. Stop taking things so seriously. Some things are not meant to be taken super seriously, right? Not like in the sense of like what I would take seriously. Not, I know I'm saying it a lot. I said that word at least 30 times, right? I'm sorry about that. But some things do not need to be taken to such an extent, right? Sometimes you just have to like literally just brush it off your shoulder. Just, it's just the wind. You know what? I'm not even gonna worry about it. Stop taking things so seriously, bro. Because it quite frankly, it doesn't deserve all that. It doesn't deserve all that. And you know what? I know this is still something I'm going to continue to struggle with, to continue to keep learning, to like use my own discernment in certain situations, like when versus when not to take things with such a serious eye. But I know just recently I was able to understand that. I have gotten better at it. And maybe someone else needs to hear this too. You know, maybe you're in a situation where someone is maybe getting on your nerve, or someone is trying to provoke a reaction out of you constantly, right? And you're always giving into it. It's like, not everything needs to be taken with that kind of to that extent. Sometimes sometimes people just want to talk, right? Sometimes people just want to talk, and you just gotta let them talk, right? Just let them keep on going. Just ignore them, right? And that's just one example. Maybe it's something where it's like, oh my goodness, like if I don't do this and this and this, and then this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen. And it's like, it's not that those things aren't serious, right? Whatever that might be. I know that was very vague and unspecific, but whatever situation that might make you very tense, very like put you in a state of unrest. Sometimes you just have to just let it happen. Sometimes you just have to let it pass through you and understand that maybe all that energy that you're giving into a situation is not completely necessary, right? That's not to say that it's unimportant, right? I'm sure there's a lot of important things that might cause you to be in a state of unrest, especially like deadlines, right? Or maybe there's like a certain time you need to be somewhere, right? Et cetera, right? But sometimes you just gotta You just gotta let it pass through. You know what? You know what? It is what it is. I'm gonna just keep going at my own pace. Right? Going back to what I just said, to like being there at a certain time. That's another thing, right? Now, as I'm talking, I just thought about it. You know, I would be very, very upset if I was ever late to something, right? And it wasn't like super late. No, like if I was not there at the exact time that I needed to be there, or early, because I like to be there early. I think I would be super anxious. I would be super sad or angry, or like just like, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I'll be shaking. Another thing that I've gotten better at is understanding that I don't need to be in a rush all the time. Right? Because when I'm in a rush, I tend to forget stuff, or things just don't end up working out the way that I thought it was. Or I would get there and it'd be like, oh, you know what? I could have got here a little later, and then things would have still been okay. That's not to say that I like being late, but I'm just saying, if I'm ever in a situation where I know I'm gonna be late, instead of just getting like super, like just moving around the whole time, I just like, you know what? It's okay. Take a deep breath. Just do what I had to do and get to the point that I need to get to, right? As fast as I can without, you know, being like stupidly reckless, right? Yeah. That's what I have for today. It's just something that I just thought about, you know, especially after just going to the museum today. I really don't need to take everything super seriously all the time. Maybe someone else needs to hear that. Yeah, that's what I got for today. If you're seeing this, I love you. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself, because the only person who can take care of you is you. And always remember, you don't have to take everything super seriously, bro. Have a good one.